30 minutes past 6 p.m. August 13, 2020. This is Prime News on My Major Prime, live and direct from our headquarters at Fengutwon Bange in the country's economic capital, Douala. Genda Peldrin Blanche King is mining. Villagers of Mile 15, Boya Southwest region of the country have expressed growing worries over what they term illegal expropriation of their lands by an individual. The locals were on the streets yesterday to state their grievances and demand appropriate actions. Crise, Kmer compiled the following report.
An angry mob chanting songs of justice as they display on the streets. We are at Bokova village, a locality found in my 15 Boya. These locals are protesting against the illegal claim over their land by a business tycoon named Felix Namen. According to the villagers, the business guru, who is from the US, is claiming over 70 hectares of land in the Bokova community that was passed down to him by his father, who was a chief some years ago. By implication, these villagers are being asked by the businessman to evacuate the land. However, these villagers say no identification document has been presented this far by Namen to show proof of his ownership of the land presently occupied by villagers.
Where we don't cooperate today, make we continue to cooperate like this, because as a owner, this village, any man where you live for this village, where you get your house, where you get your plot or anything, now indigene.
The manifestation drew the attention of local administrative authorities, led by the first assistant DO of Boya, who went down to the field to ascertain the gravity of the issue.
We don't get weapons the way they equal their own. We got on our side. The DO asked a question. He said, but which side the map where you want me to go look at 14 hectares? But they leave me with one assignment. They say, make a collect the name. Any man put his name, his telephone number with his signature. We will go down for DO for sure say, no man. In one grab place where we are picking them, go chop, and we are grab picking them, and we are grab picking them.
After a chat between local administrative authorities with residents of the village, it was resolved that both parties should bring documents or a map to show ownership.
The Minister of Public Service and Administration, Joseph Lee, says a total of 6,134 student court registrars and magistrates have been recruited. This is in line with efforts to solve worries raised by common law lawyers in the Northwest and Southwest regions. He disclosed this during his maiden visit in Boya. Crise reports.
This maiden visit by Minister Joseph Lee to Boya was to evaluate the living condition, training, and to ensure the security of these student court registrars and magistrates carrying out internship in courts in Boya.
We also thought that as a family, it's good for the father of the family, the GM and myself, it is good to come and pay a family visit to those young men. And they themselves told me that everything is going on smoothly. They have no major problem. So their training here is going on without problem.
These 200 pupil magistrates and 120 court registrars baptized the badge of opportunity and development were recruited on instruction from the head of state as a solution to the problem of the Anglo-Saxon judicial system raised by common law lawyers.
To make a kind of balance sheet of this special operation decided and instructed by the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, so that we should recruit 200 people magistrates and 120 court registrars for those two regions. The operation that lasts 4 years is already completed with the last batch we have repeated.
During this event, it was disclosed by the minister that over 6,134 of these students from the Northwest and Southwest regions have successfully taken part in the concours from 2017 to 2019, written in 4 centers of Boya, Bamenda, Gaura, and Yaoundé. Addressing the students, the Director General of ENAM, Sumbo Pierre Bertrand, outlined a number of pedagogic problems facing the institution. He also used the opportunity to call on the students who have barely 2 to 3 months before the end of their internship to be impartial, loyal, and diligent while upholding the values of the court. While appreciating government for this special recruitment, the representative of the students expressed their wish to see more young Cameroonians who will be recruited in the same capacity, while promising to uphold the values of the court.
The sum of 550 million francs CFA has been paid to farmers for supplying more than 11,000 tons of certified cocoa beans to agro-produce management services during the 2019-2020 cocoa season. This amount was given to farmers in the Central, West and Southwest regions affiliated to AMS by the company's management. It serves as a restoration to AMS after a failed certification year during the 2018-2019 cocoa season. Our reporter, Kuma Onorembom, completes the story.
The sum of 550 million francs CFA has been paid to farmers for supplying over 11,000 tons of certified cocoa beans during the 2019-2020 cocoa season. The bonuses, otherwise known as premium, is an additional amount that cocoa farmers in a successful certification year receive over the normal market price. It is a token from consumers through chocolate companies to appreciate farmers for the quality they produce. This year's payment, like every other year, takes place after the close of the 2019-2020 cocoa season, with farmers from the Center, West and Southwest regions benefiting from the premium. The beneficiaries participated in the UTS RA certification trainings, which permitted them to implement the required standards in sustainable cocoa production. They were inspected by the Agro Management Producer Services team alongside an independent third-party organization before being qualified to benefit from the premium. This payment is important as it is a restoration of success to AMS after a failed certification year during the 2018-2019 season. The fight went rough, just like with many other businesses, but thanks to the resilience of its farmers who stayed loyal to the UD certification process for AMS to be back on the rail.
Our vision is, first of all, to let our farmers to understand that they are not just as a lay farmer as they used to understand before, but we want to make them to know that as a farmer, you are a business person and you can get partnership with an organization like AMS who will support and follow you with different trainings, support you with chemical inputs, support you with seedlings.
Despite the fiasco of the unfortunate year, AMS management paid close to 10,000 farmers a loyalty bonus of over 250 million francs CFA to appreciate their allegiance to the project. Beyond the loyalty bonus, the management continues to recognize the role of all its farmers.
We are happy for the bonus because it's going to help us. Like mostly for me, I believe I'm short of gamalin, so that bonus will help me to afford my gamalin. Yes, let me insecticide and the fungicide. And also it will help me in clearing. I have workers that are working. The bonus can help me to pay some of them.
Me, my heart is over sweet. With the deep bonus, but I don't take on to this. My bonus, I plan for sponsor my picking the way in the university.
AMS is a sustainable cocoa business company that accompanies farmers through certification, cocoa purchase, and export of cocoa beans. The Tico-based company is a subsidiary to the Dutch giant cocoa trader Ikom Tiobroma. Over the years, AMS has grown from 400 farmers in 2011 to 13,000 farmers in 2020, paid almost 3 billion francs CFA as bonuses to farmers on good agricultural, social and environmental practices, distributed over 500,000 free cocoa seedlings, provided chemicals worth billions of francs CFA to farmers, donated boreholes and benches to communities and schools, constructed many farmer development centers, and provided employment to more than hundreds of Cameroonians.
A 4-bedroom plank-made house has been reduced to ashes by flames that equally attacked nearby buildings around Carthage, Bonaveri, Douala. Information gathered says the flames generated from short circuit in one of the rooms and gradually went wild. The flames were finally put out by elements of the Bonaveri firefighting unit. You're on to the 6:30 Prime News and my media prime. Some inhabitants of Sancho in the West region say so the rim has been abandoned for 23 years. They blame this to poor management and neglect from public authorities. According to them, the industry offered employment to a good number of Cameroonians and should be revamped. Student journalist on internship at Tapekonten in the following report.
L'ancienne usine de production de riz de Sancho est à l'abandon. Les herbes poussent autour, les machines agricoles sont couvertes de toits d'araignées. Les équipements de stockage et de décortiquage sont devenus des statues de décoration historique. Après 1961, date de son ouverture, la côte de Rime faisait de Sancho une ville agricole prospère en raison de la présence de la culture du riz.
Comment est-ce qu'on peut fermer la sauderie? Là où nous, on avait suffisamment de riz et puis nous, mais le riz de qualité.
Cependant, depuis 1997, date de la fermeture, soit environ 23 ans aujourd'hui, le Cameroun importe plus de riz, ce qui entraîne une balance commerciale déficitaire. Des milliards de francs CFA sont dépensés inutilement et le chômage prend place.
J'ai travaillé là-bas avec ma mère et mes enfants. J'ai cuisiné le riz. C'était le bon prix. Oui. Aujourd'hui, je chôme au quartier. L'enfant chôme au quartier.
Le riz importé ne répond pas à ces lettres de noblesse comme le nôtre, selon les consommateurs.
Le riz pakistanais, ça fait 5 ans dans leur magasin. C'est quand ça tend à pourrir, quand il décortique pour envoyer au pays africain que nous sommes. Et avant que ça n'arrive, ils traitent. Or, à la Seigneurie, à Ndop et à Sancho, là où nous sommes à présent, on ne traitait jamais ces riz.
Les ménages peinent à nourrir leur famille à cause du prix du riz élevé sur le marché dû à son importation.
Moi, j'achète le sac de riz présentement à 21 500 francs. Le riz qui coûtait 17 500 francs avant la pandémie. Nous nourrissons difficilement nos enfants. Nous ne consommons que le riz importé. Vraiment, quand vous regardez, quand vous voyez la hausse de 17 500 à 21 500, voire même 25 000, nous demandons vraiment à l'État comment est-ce qu'on peut fermer la sauderie.
Toutefois, si la production locale de cette denrée alimentaire et d'autres sont inexistantes, alors leur importation pourrait être à l'origine, plus tard, de la crise socio-économique chronique.
The people of Camer, led by their mayor in Fort Musa Shey, have taken upon themselves to ameliorate the deplorable state of the Ndu Camer stretch of road. The road had been in a poor state for some time, making movements around that area difficult. Student journalist on internship, Mungo Emanuela Ngela, reports.
Though it is the responsibility of the state to ensure the accessibility of national roads, the Cameroon population, championed by their men for Musa, mobilized themselves to rehabilitate the state of this stretch.
Yes, it's true. It's national road number 11. It is not the work of the community to do that, but we had to do it. The community had to do it. In order that the population should not.
So we felt that instead of leaving the community to continue to go through suffering, pregnant women having to pass nights under the mosquitoes for days here, sick people not being able to get evacuated to the hospitals, prices of goods rising in Cameroon because Cameroon transporting goods from Bafoussam and the rest came and spent night here, so we felt it was an obligation to act in the community interest, even though it's a national road.
With the help of a bulldozer, the people of Nkambe have succeeded in repairing the worst part of this national road. The Nkambe-Ndo Ring Road have in recent days gained reputation of being one of the worst in the region. A 40 kilometers road stretch from the chief town of the Ndonga Mantum division in the northwest region, which usually entails an hour's journey to the city of Bamenda, have become a 4-hour trip because of the bad road.
I want to tell everybody that this is just phase one. For all the other elite who are still on the way in terms of finances and in terms of equipment, the other people, I want to thank the solidarity that we have had, because some elites from Ndu have already chipped into this contribution, so it has not been just purely a Nkambe issue. You remember that the work we are doing has not ended only in the Nkambe stretch of road, it has already touched Nkambe and the Ndu stretch of road. So this is an example of community solidarity which we want to encourage at this time.
This notwithstanding, the phase 2 of this community solidarity effort will be done in Binka, Loambot, and Bie. The mayor has also called on others to be encouraged and answer present during the second phase in order to encourage the accessibility of this ring road.
President Putin of Russia has approved Sputnik V as a vaccine for COVID-19. This revelation has raised eyebrows from health experts who question the safety of this vaccine. Bokengo Kmer Worthy tells us more.
Based on the DNA of adenovirus type 2 for common cold, Russia yesterday, August 11, 2020, approves a vaccine to fight against the coronavirus. The vaccine have been named after the first satellite that was ever launched into space in the year 1957, called Sputnik V, and is said to be quite effective. As far as I know, the first vaccine against coronavirus infection have been approved. Although I know it works fairly effective, it has gone, I repeat, it has gone through all the necessary checks. I also know it very well because one of my daughters was subject to this vaccine. After the first injection of the vaccine, her temperature was 38 degrees. Following day, it was a bit over 37, and that's it. She feels well. Developed by Moscow's Gamaleya Institute, the vaccine have been approved by Russia's health regulators, even though it has not gone through a phase 3 trial, which is considered an essential part of testing process.
First is that we don't really have a good understanding of what the safety profile is. So it's not quite clear what the common or uncommon side effects of the vaccine are going to be. There's no real understanding about what the benefits of the vaccine are. We don't have any idea if it actually works. And the third is a loss of trust in public health. If this goes sideways, certainly there can be mistrust in public health, which can have ripple effects well beyond COVID-19. But they really are playing a game of Russian roulette.
Okay. Though Russia is said to have the capacity of producing a vaccine this fast, many have accused the country for having hacked vaccines research.
Tremendous capacity in the country. They have phenomenal scientists, and they have the infrastructure to do so. But you really have to have the phase 3 clinical trials to really have a better understanding of the vaccine before you start integrating this into community vaccination programs.
All right. With over 100 prototype vaccines worldwide, the World Health Organization urges Russia to follow international guidelines for producing a vaccine against coronavirus. Nonetheless, Russia says Sputnik V is a big step towards humankind's victory and is set to do a mass production of about 30 million vaccines come October 2020, as circulation is expected to be in January 2021 within the country.
Eileen Sama takes us through news-making events in Mozambique, Sudan, and Kenya in the African continent.
South Sudan has appealed for help to provide relief to over 200,000 people displaced by flooding along the Nile River banks in Jonglei State. The whole of eastern Sudan has been inundated by heavy and incessant rains, with water level rising to 1.5 meters. In Mozambique, a group of jihadis have taken over Mocimboa da Praia, a major port situated in the northern oil-rich region. According to military sources and local media, this comes after a chain of attacks recently in the area. Reports say on Wednesday the Islamist extremists succeeded in taking possession of the port by dawn, sinking a ship of former President Armando Guebuza. While in Uganda, a 19-year-old Hilary Humphrey Kawesa has picked nomination papers vying for the presidency in upcoming general elections. Hilary says he has always been a leader and was qualified to lead the country, adding that he would fundraise for the 20 million Uganda shillings nomination fees. A top health official in Kenya has died after suffering from COVID-19 as the country battles to contain rising infections and death. Kamer Mugenda was the second in charge of Kenya's Medical Research Institute, which oversees the country's COVID-19 testing and vaccine trials program. An Islamic court in the northern Nigerian city of Kano has sentenced a 61-year-old man for raping a 12-year-old girl. Reports say the man was found guilty by the upper Sharia court of raping the girl under a tree on the outskirts of the remote village of Fasa in 2019 and sentenced him to death. However, the man has the right to appeal against the judgment within 30 days.
We talk sports. Paris Saint-Germain have been given a qualification pass as a semi-finalist of the Champions League. The goals from Eric Choupo-Moting during yesterday's game against Atalanta offered Paris Saint-Germain first semi-finals qualification after years. Details in the following report with Audrey Zatsa.
Paris Saint-Germain almost bowed out of this year's UEFA Champions League competition, as it has been the case in the previous years, but for the historic goal netted in by Cameroon's indomitable lion, Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting. Atlanta led 1-0 for almost the whole match before Marquinhos equalized at the 90th minute. Against all expectations, Choupo-Moting, who came in as a substitute at the 79th minute, scored the winning goal to give Paris Saint-Germain a 2-1 quarter-final victory, thus handing his club its very first UEFA Champions League semi-final ticket. It is to be recalled that his contract with the club from the French capital, PSG, had ended on the 30th of June, but the Cameroonian striker accepted 2 supplementary months in the club as a freelancer to compete in the final 8 of this league. Following his win and the reactions of football fans all over the world, the latter made a video thanking his numerous supporters for their messages of encouragement.
Merci à tous les Parisiens pour le support. On est là. On a cru à la victoire jusqu'à la dernière minute et j'ai vu les Champs-Élysées, ça donne.
And with that sports report, we end today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being a part. Join us tomorrow for the last edition of the week. Wane Elaine Olinga produced the news, coordinated by Faith Tata Beranyoy. I am Genda Belgian Blanche King. Until we meet again tomorrow, stay tuned to My Media Prime at 7 p.m. Cameroon time. Prime will be live. Good night.